Well, a day after Ichiro was traded, we find one of our favorite guys is back with the Mariners, Trayvon Robinson. You can hear the interview, by the way. We got it podcasted on the Bob and Groz page. But I thought one of the more interesting parts of the interview at Rockstar was Trayvon, who is a switch hitter, talking about Justin Smoke, who is a switch hitter. We all know that. And Smoke has been sent down to Triple-A, hitting 189. There have been some people talking that, geez, maybe you ought to concentrate on one side of the plate or not. And I thought Trayvon Robinson's response was pretty interesting to that.
Doesn't think it's a good idea.
Not at all.
Doesn't like it at all. In fact, he thinks it makes it easier on some level. Now, he's pretty new in terms of being a switch hitter. He says it didn't even get it brought up until 2005.
Yeah, he was a pro.
He was already a pro. He's in the minor leagues, and it was brought up then. And his initial reaction was, I've never swung a bat left-handed. Why would I want to do that? And he's obviously grown into that role, and we'll see what he does at this level. But just talked about the different angles, the way the ball comes in at you, at lefty versus righty. It makes it easier, and it somehow would almost improve your ability to overcome struggles. Now, on the surface, you kind of go, well, boy, it seems like you're dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
The ball's coming at you at completely different angles, completely different way, one side of the plate versus the other. But this is coming from a switch hitter, and says it makes it easier. So I think people are searching for an answer for Justin Smoke.
Sure.
Just, all right, let's eliminate as many of the moving parts as we can. Let's simplify this as much as we can and get him back to a position where he's having success. He can build his confidence. It makes sense. I understand why people are talking about limiting him to one side of the plate.
And I understand Trayvon's point. I mean, thinking about it, if you're a left-hander, you'll face right-handed pitching, so more fastballs is what you're talking about there. And as a right-hander, you're not going to face right-handers. You'll face left-handers. They'll be throwing it into the sweet spot, so to speak. So, I mean, Trayvon might be a ridiculous athlete, too. I mean, I have not heard of a guy picking this up at the professional level before. I mean, you normally hear about...
That's very late in your career to start doing
Yeah, I mean, it's a dad who teaches his son something like that and try and do it. So he's got unique athletic ability anyway. But I thought it was really interesting that in terms of, if you're thinking it's going to be simpler for Justin Smoke, think again, because he'd have to learn, in a sense, a whole new way of hitting against, let's say he switched to right-handed hitting, right-handed pitching. So it's funny how sometimes things aren't always what they seem.
Yeah, and when he kind of spelled it out that way, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense, because all of a sudden he's strictly a right-handed hitter, let's say, for Justin Smoke, and he's facing right-handed pitching. He's not used to looking at it from that side of the plate.
Right.
So obviously that becomes just a whole other transition. Instead of simplifying, maybe it makes it that much harder. We're all looking for answers for Justin here. Yeah. Whatever's going to make it easiest, and hopefully whatever he works on down in Triple-A, whether it's the mental side, the mechanical side, both, he gets it fixed. He's a good guy. He's got a ton of potential, and you want to do whatever it's going to take to make him succeed.
Come on, Tacoma, work your magic.